Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm super excited, like very excited to be back here with another tutorial. If this is the first time you're seeing any of my videos or the first time you are visiting my channel, you are highly welcome to the family. Kindly hit on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified when I upload new videos. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. Let's dive into the video. For this tutorial, I'll be making use of these lovely Ankara fabric prints, and I'll be using 2 yards of it. Also, I'll be making use of my tape rule, my chalk, and then my scissors. So we'll be making this lovely skirt you're seeing. I will be folding my fabric into two. Ensure you fold enough to cover your hip measurements, including your sewing allowance. After that, you mark out 1/2 inches at the tip of the fabric. That will serve as the starting points and the waistline. And then you begin taking your body measurements. I will take from the waist my hip line, which is 8 inches. I'll mark it there like this and then make a straight line on that. Then I will take the half length of my skirt, which is 14 inches, plus 1 inch sewing allowance. The full length of the skirt is 19 inches, so the other 5 inches will be for the gathers at the down of the skirts. So I will be marking the 15 inches there. So guys, after doing that, I'll be taking my round body measurements, starting from my hip line. So for my hip line, I'll be using 38 inches divided by 4. That'll give me 9.5 inches. I'll mark the 9.5 inches there, and I'll add 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. Then the waist measurements divided by 4, which is 30 divided by 4. That'll be 7.5 inches. I'll mark the 7.5 inches on my waistline. I will add 1 inches for that, 1.5 inches for sewing allowance, and then I'll connect my hip to my waistline. After that, whatever I have on my round hip, I'll measure it, which is 11 inches. I'll reduce it by 1 inch. That will remain 10 inches. I'll mark the 10 inches on my skirt's half length and then connect that to my hip line. After we've done all this for the front area, we'll be cutting it out and then we'll be drafting out the back. So guys, this is the front part. I will use my front to cut out the back parts. I'll be folding the remaining part of my fabric. Ensure you fold enough to cover your zipper allowance. I left 1.5 inches for the zipper parts. So I'll be placing my front on the fabric like this. This is basically all for the back part, as you can see. So I'll just cut it out. It's very easy to draft out the back. So guys, this is what we have after cutting out the back, as you can see. So I'll slant open the zipper area. I'll open it like this. Please, if you know you've not subscribed to my channel and you're watching this video right now, please do well to subscribe to my channel. So I'll wait for you to do that. I'm waiting. Thank you. So we'll be marking out our dart points. To determine your dart area, you divide your nipple to nipple points by 2. Mine is 7 inches divided by 2. That gave me 3.5. So I'll mark the 3.5 there like this. From that 3.5, I'll mark 1 inches for the darts and then I'll notch it like this. After you do that, you put your back parts aside to work on the front, and then you can use your lining to turn your fabric if you want, but I'll be sewing it plain like this. So that point which I marked, which is the 3.5 inches, I'll fold that point into 2 like this. I'll fold the fabric into 2. Mark out my darts length. For the dart length, I used 5 inches. So from the tip of my skirts, I'll connect that 5 inches to the dart points. I'll connect it to the dart points like this. You'll be doing the same thing for the other side of the front and then the same thing for the back. So I'll take that to the machine to sew. So this is it after I was done sewing it. As you can see, this is the front that came out very nice. I've ironed that too. This is for the back. Can you see? I've ironed it too. This is the other part of the dart too, of the back too. I've ironed that too. So I'll be taking the side sewing allowance. I'll pick one part of the back area, place it on the front like this. Ensure you place both together. Make sure they are both kissing each other. And then we'll be taking the sewing allowance. I added 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance, so I'll be marking out that 1.5 inches from my waistline. I'll mark that 1.5 inches all the way to the half length of my skirts. I'll mark 1.5 inches like this. I'll be doing the same thing for the other side of the skirt, and then I'll take it to the machine to sew. And this is it after I was done sewing. As you can see, I've gone ahead to whip it. I've ironed it too. So what I'll be doing next is to hold the zipper area together like this. We'll hold both sides together, and then we'll mark out our zip line. So for the zip length, we'll be using 7 inches for the zip length. I'll mark the 7 inches there like this, and then it's going to be having a band at the waist parts. So I'll be marking out the 7 inches like this. I'll mark it out, and then from that 7 inches, I'll be marking the 1.5 inches for the sewing allowance. I'll mark that 1.5 inches from the 7 inches all the way to the half length of my skirts, and then I'll take it to the machine to sew. This is it after sewing the parts. As you can see, I've whipped it and also I've ironed it. So what I'll be doing next is to measure around the down part of the skirt. We'll be measuring that down part. That is to determine the length of clothes you'll be cutting out for the gathers. I had 36 inches after measuring that. As you can see, that is 36 inches, meaning you'll be cutting out 36 times 4 for the length of the clothes. That is going to give you 144, or you can cut out 36 times 3 depending on how full you want your gathers to be. So as you can see, I've gone ahead to cut it out, and I used 6 inches for the length of the clothes. For the length of the cloth, I use 6 inches. So half inches for the sewing allowance of the down, half inches of the sewing allowance of the upper part too. And then I cut out 36 times 4 for the length of the cloth, which is 144. And then I've gone ahead to sew a straight line on the tip of the clothes to be able to draw my gathers, as you can see. So if you want to draw your gathers, you ensure you draw it little by little, because it might go to a point the thread is going to cut. So you be very careful while doing that. So I'll begin drawing it like this. I'll draw it all the way to the tip, to the end of the clothes. As you can see, I'm done drawing it. So you measure it to be sure you've drawn enough. The round skirt is 36 inches, so you divide 36 into 2. That will give you 18 inches. So you'll be sure you've drawn up to 18 inches. You'll be adding extra 1 inches for the sewing allowance. So after I measured it, I got 18 inches, which means I'll still be reducing it to be able to get that 19 inches. After you've reduced that, you'll be using that 1 inches to sew it like this. You sew that 1 inches, and then you'll be attaching it to the down part of the skirt. Let me show you to see how you do it. So you place it on the skirt like this. You place it on it like this. By the time you're sewing it, you arrange it well so one part doesn't go in and one part doesn't go out. So I'll take it to the machine to sew. So this is it after I was done attaching it to the skirt. As you can see, I've gone ahead to whip it. It's looking very nice. This is the back part, as you can see. So you'll be folding the down part of the skirt like this. You fold it very tiny. You sew it all the way around, and then I'll be measuring my waist to determine the length of the band I'll be cutting. So you measure it round like this. You measure it. After I was done measuring it, I got 36 inches. So I got 36 inches, and then we'll be using that in cutting your band. As you can see, I've gone ahead to cut out my band. So I used 1.5 inches for the length of my band. I used 1.5 inches, can you see? And then for the length of the band, I used 37 inches. So I like adding extra inches to the band length just in case of anything. So I used 37 inches. So the smaller part of the band, is the one you'll be placing on the skirt itself. You'll be placing it on the skirt, and that longer part will be at the back of it. So you place it on the skirt like this, and then I'll use my office pin to hold it round like this. After doing that, I'll take it to the machine to sew. So you sew it round like this, and then you sew the down parts. This is the outcome of it after I was done sewing. I've sewed the down parts like this, as you can see, and then I'll fix the band too. Can you see? I fixed the band. So I'll begin to remove the pins on it. This is it after I was done with that. So if you want to sew your band, you just place that longer part on it like this, and then sew. So that's the reason why I like making one part of my band longer, so as to be able to sew it easily. So you'll be doing that, and then we'll be fixing our zip. So I'll be using this zip for that. As you can see, you place it on your skirt like this, and then we'll take it to the machine to sew. This is the outcome of the skirt. It's looking so good. This is the back part. As you can see, I fixed the zip already. Can you see? It's looking very nice. See the band area too. It's looking so neat. I've ironed it, and then this is the end of the tutorial. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please help me subscribe to my channel. Help me like this video, help me comment, and if you have any question to ask me, you can do that in the comment section. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.